to sour things up. The football was pure. In the Champions League, you could probably watch Red Star Belgrade and Olympique Lyon, and you enjoy a proper game of football. You go to the viewing center, and match day 1 and match day 6 mattered in the Champions League. But these days, it's just like just go there, procession, and go back home. Anyways, I want to take your reactions to these two big stories. Thomas Tuchel has been told that he must leave Bayern Munich at the end of this season. So whatever happens this weekend, he still keeps his job. But what does it mean, for the manager? What does it mean for the club? Because since Pep Guardiola spent back-to-back seasons at Bayern, no manager has done that, and that's been like 6 managers, about 5-6 managers. And this is supposed to be a big club. This is supposed to be a model club for other clubs on how to, run a sane, football club in Europe. What also mean for Thomas Tuchel went from the eyes of winning the Champions League and to the lows of being, told dismissed after 1 year.
When I saw the story broke this morning on Sky Sport News, I just said, hey, there's no loyalty in this game. I was just making a joke about the old bro code conversation. Like, soldier go, soldier come. You're losing your job. I'm getting into the same space, into the same hot soup you're moving away from. And that's exactly what happens. Everybody keep recycling, the same managers up and down. And it will surprise you that Thomas Tuchel, certainly a lot of clubs will let go of their managers to bring in Thomas Tuchel, because he's coach at PSG. He's got a couple of stuff on his CV. Coach at Chelsea, a team that Frank Lampard said were not ready to compete. He won the Champions League.
Yeah, but I might have done that, but the stock is a bit low now that Bayern have said, hey,
I'm just saying.
You've put us on the other side of history.
Clubs understand what it is. The demands of coaching Barcelona would probably not as big as coaching Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, even Barcelona. The same thing happened to Xavi. It's just funny that a lot of these managers are just leaving in. That's during the season. Xavi announced he was going to leave at the end of the season. Jurgen Klopp announced he was going to leave at the end of the season. Although Jurgen Klopp was not performance based, he just felt he wanted something different. He wanted to rest. Now it's Thomas Tuchel, and I'm very sure that before the end of the season, a whole lot of other managers will announce that they will be leaving. But I think we said this yesterday that even if the announcement was not made today, the announcement was certainly going to be made at the end of the season. Thomas Tuchel was never going to be with Bayern beyond this season. The signs are not good. The playing pattern of the team is not structured. They don't have an identity right now. 8-point adrift, of Bayer Leverkusen in the German Bundesliga for the team that have won the German league. How many seasons now? I think about 11 straight seasons. I'm not mistaken. So you just have an idea that they want something different. And I don't know where they're going to next. I don't know. I mean, it looks like Hansi Flick is going to Barcelona, but we never can tell. Maybe Bayern. We also talked about the fact that Xavi Hernandez may be returning to one of his former clubs. Maybe Liverpool. There's opening there.
Oh, you're talking about Xabi Alonso? Yeah,
Xabi Alonso. We talked about it yesterday. He's obviously not going back to Real Madrid because Carlo Ancelotti has renewed his contract for another 1 year. So you look at the variables available to him. Could he be Bayern? And could
he could also choose to stay at Leverkusen as well.
Exactly. Nobody's sending him away. So for me, I think it's Bayern just saying, you know what, we need to restructure, we need to understand. And the funny thing is that the league is not just done and dusted yet for Bayern. It's just 8 points.
I think it's done. Yeah.
I don't think so. But they're still in the Champions League too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but the Champions League, they also won leg out. They lost the first leg.
They lost the first leg to Lazio. They can still win it.
In the two competitions they are in right now, they are not in a position of strength.
Yeah.
If you're 8 points behind the side, we're unbeaten. Trust me, I'm not sure you're hopeful. Even Thomas Tuchel admitted after the loss last week at Bochum that he's not sure about the title anymore. But what we've seen also in Bayern Munich today is that patience is limited in Bavaria, but also reflects on the failure of the manager himself. Because Nagelsmann, the previous manager, who at the point in time was, I think, the most expensive manager because Bayern paid 25 million euros to bring him in, he lost only 10 of 84 matches in charge. Now,
11 of 44 for Tuchel?
Yeah, 11 of 44 for Tuchel. Yeah. So that is utter failure.
It's terrible.
I know he won the Bundesliga, but he did it on the last day because Dortmund imploded, against Mainz. I know this manager is tactically brilliant. We've seen that, with Chelsea winning the Champions League, out of nowhere. But also, he's pressed some self-destruct button. Against Leverkusen, he tried to mirror the three at the back. It didn't work. And this is a manager who I also think the club have really backed the transfer market. In fact, the word is that, and I believe, and I've seen it, that is one of the most powerful Bayern managers recent in terms of being allowed to pick his players because he didn't have a sporting director to work with. Brought in Harry Kane, which has worked to an extent. You could say Eric Dyer was offside. Maybe
he wanted him.
And he wanted him as well. So it's really not looking good for Thomas Tuchel. But also, what is not looking good here is a wider look at the super managers. Looks like, I think Germany has like four top managers right now who are Germans. I'm talking about Thomas Tuchel. I'm talking about
Hansi Flick,
Julian Nagelsmann,
Jürgen Klopp.
I'm talking about Hansi Flick, and I'm talking about Jürgen Klopp. Now, out of all of these four managers, only one hasn't gone through Bayern.
That's
and that only one is Jürgen Klopp has come out to say through his agents that he wants to go on a sabbatical. So it also gives you cause for worry for German football and the managers that they are producing. I know it's like of Oliver Glasner as well, but it should be a source of concern if you're a German football enthusiast. Like, what's really happening? Our top managers are going to the best club in Germany, and they're getting trashed out like being. It's not a good look at all.
I think we had a conversation yesterday in respect to Bayern being like the umbrella club for every single club within the German football hierarchy, not just the German Bundesliga alone. And it means that you look at how they're able to poach big players. Look at how many times they've had to go to Borussia Dortmund to bring in players. They brought in Lewandowski, brought in Mario Götze. They just keep going back there to bring in the best players. So it kind of have a way on them. So they look for the standout players in some of these clubs that are lower than them, that are giving them problem, and at the end of the season they buy you, they bring you over. The same thing they do with managers. So it's almost like they have the first option on buy on any player that wants to be sold in the German league. Oh, Bayern Munich, are you interested in the players? Yes. They bring it. Are you interested in the player? No. They let the player go, maybe to other German club or outside Europe. But for the managers, it means that the height of a German manager
is to coach
for Bayern,
of course. Yeah.
So when you get into that space and it doesn't work for you, then you start exploring.
How many times do you even see
German players play outside of Germany?
I thought they didn't give Julian Nagelsmann a chance, and I don't know if it's connected. But I was watching.
His numbers are good.
When I was watching Bayern against Bayer Leverkusen, when they were being thrashed in,
he was laughing.
He was there, was laughing. I don't know if that's connected though. But we have to go on a break real quick. But personally, I feel that Xabi Alonso is not going to pick Bayern. Most likely he's going to pick Liverpool. In fact, in terms of emotional connection or whatever connection,
he's more connected to Liverpool.
He's more connected to Liverpool, and I saw him paying glowing tributes to Jürgen Klopp as well. So I personally think he's going to pick Liverpool.
But the pressure for Liverpool, you think he's going to be more?
But no, it's the same pressure. It's the pressure at Liverpool is the pressure at Bayern Munich as well. They are both big clubs. But here's the problem for Bayern: they need to get their next manager appointment really right, or else they will end up with another Niko Kovac, and we know how the Niko Kovac thing worked. It didn't work out at all.
It's never been a good experience.
All right, still to come on the Sports Cruise this evening. Champions League tonight's Champions League last night. Inter Milan flexed their tactical muscles yesterday. I called it yesterday. I said they were going to win against Atletico Madrid. We'll talk about them and also what is to come tonight. Arsenal take on Porto. We will take a trip way back. The last time Arsenal were in the last 16 was 7 years ago. In fact, the last time Arsenal made the quarterfinals of the Champions League was 14 years ago. We'll take that trip down memory lane.
Those 14 years, for 6 years they didn't play in the Champions League.
You don't get what I'm saying? The last time they played in the round of 16 was 7 years ago. Now the last time they played in the round of the quarterfinals was 14 years. So it was even 7 years after. Anyways, we'll get to that later on. Don't go anywhere. Sports Cruise coming up. We have to pay bills. Don't go anywhere. My name is 𝐴DEWALE ADIGUN, and ᴑ is on your side. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. So at there, drop your comments. You can also watch the show as well. You can call in as well, 091 36000 410. Drop a text as well on 091 36000 430. Stick around.
Mainland 98.3 FM, your number one radio. Reaching stars, the sound of Lagos.
Time don't reach, oh! Johnny the keke driver don't land. This na time where Johnny don't reason for his head tire. Johnny don't do everything make all of us for we reach this particular time. We don't focus our eye for waiting up for our front. We see say Johnny they ready for him eye. The shot go soon come. He don't they come. And he don't enter. Johnny wife Mori don't collect the COVID-19 vaccine. Correct move where Johnny make to carry and come for the COVID-19 vaccine. And you fit see the result clear. Yes, so now better move be that too because she get belle. It is very important say she collect the vaccine to avoid serious sickness. Everybody they jubilate. We fit see as Johnny family members gather around them and they wife. Show love for the team we show pass. Make sure say women will get belle, those we old, plus those will get serious sickness. Collect the COVID-19 vaccine.
The drama, the suspense, the emotions, the gang moments. Don't miss out on Nollywood movies and web series on YouTube with the YouTube Buffet plan from MTN. You can enjoy over 10 hours of Nollywood content made for you. Sharply dial *312*800# to activate the YouTube Buffet plan from MTN and start enjoying. YouTube made for you.
Hey there, tech enthusiasts! Get ready to ignite your world with the all-new Tecno Spark 20.
That's right! The Spark 20 with its stunning display and powerful features is here to redefine your smartphone experience.
We've also partnered with Google and MTN to bring you even more. With the Spark 20, Google apps and loads of free MTN data, your digital life just got smarter and more connected.
Grab your Tecno Spark 20 today and step into a world where style meets technology.
Tecno, stop at nothing.
Official partner of the Africa Cup of Nations 2023.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC. What takes a plate of jollof rice to the next level of goodness? Is it when it is cooked with no sizzling cubes for that sumptuous taste? Or when you serve it with correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, and a bit of kidney beans?
It's both. Season your jollof with the rich taste of no cubes and serve with plenty of vegetables. So, go ahead and elevate your meals. Today, eat for good.
Una sabi Johnny so? Johnny na correct keke driver. Na so Johnny enter in keke with him family reach hospital. As they drop from the keke go, Johnny collect him pikin Julie from him wife hand. Na so the family dribble everybody enter reception. This one show say the family they work together as one team. As them enter, Johnny begin follow baby Julie dey play. As mama Julie dey fill the form. Wait oh, it be like she dey ask him something. Johnny just come a vaccine card from him pocket. Swallow Johnny. This vaccine card wey him carry so, na the final pass. Them don dey carry them go where the nurse them dey oh. They dey close now oh. The nurse dey ready the vaccine. She don dey near them oh. Johnny dey hold the pikin. In the use style dey follow and play. The injection don enter. Baby Julie don collect the vaccine. Johnny don do am. Na so champion dey do. Show love for the team wey sure pass. Make sure say those wey you love get all the vaccine wey dem need. First, make sure dem show healthcare person wey near you their vaccine card.
The drama, the suspense, the emotions, the gang moments. Don't miss out on Nollywood movies and web series on YouTube with the YouTube Buffet plan from MTN. You can enjoy over 10 hours of Nollywood content made for you. Sharply dial *312*800# to activate the YouTube Buffet plan from MTN and start enjoying. YouTube made for you.
Hey there, tech enthusiasts! Get ready to ignite your world with the all-new Tecno Spark 20.
That's right! The Spark 20 with its stunning display and powerful features is here to redefine your smartphone experience.
We've also partnered with Google and MTN to bring you even more. With the Spark 20, Google apps and loads of free MTN data, your digital life just got smarter and more connected.
Grab your Tecno Spark 20 today and step into a world where style meets technology.
Tecno, stop at nothing.
Official partner of the Africa Cup of Nations 2023.
What takes a plate of jollof rice to the next level of goodness? Is it when it is cooked with no sizzling cubes for that sumptuous taste? Or when you serve it with correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, and a bit of kidney beans?
It's both. Season your jollof with the rich taste of no cubes and serve with plenty of vegetables. So go ahead and elevate your meals. Today, eat for good.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
All right, welcome back. Sports Cruise on Mainland 98.3 FM. All right, let's get to the Champions League. We will be talking about Arsenal, who are in Portugal tonight with world-class Bukayo Saka. Finally, we're Ferdinand had to admit that. En route Ryanair flights to the Arsenal fans who lynched him and said, hey, you put Phil Foden ahead of our player, and he say, hey, finally, Saka is world class. We'll also talk about Napoli and Barcelona. We'll look at Napoli from a Victor Osimhen point of view, because it looks like Victor Osimhen has been emblematic of their stuttering season as well. We'll talk about that, and I've got a very interesting question on Robert Lewandowski as well. The question is very much simple. Barcelona fans getting here. Do you think the old Lewandowski project has worked? Do you think it's worked so far so good for Barcelona? Both are in action tonight. I think Osimhen has finally been past fit to play tonight at the Maradona. But let's rewind back. Let's press rewind to yesterday, and Inter 1, Atletico Madrid 0. Should have been more.
Yeah, it should have been more, but I actually called it that Atletico Madrid were going to win the game. I don't know how. But it still didn't take away the fact that I feel Inter are still the better team. Maybe not the best as such, but maybe the better team in Europe.
Because I found that contradictory, because yesterday you announced Inter as the best team in Europe, but yet you felt Atletico Madrid.
I felt there was so much for Atletico Madrid yesterday. The fact that it was a milestone game for Diego Simeone, and I felt like the boys will be able to turn up for him, especially the fact that they've been having some decent run also in the La Liga, which I think is done and dusted, by the way. But I expected them to live up yesterday. Inter Milan had chances upon chances, and so before he eventually got down one, he missed a lot of chances. It was really frustrating for the Inter Milan fans yesterday. But you have a feeling that they've done the bulk of the job. Whatever happens at the Atletico Madrid home,
the Metropolitano.
It's going to be a key game, and thank God now there's nothing like a away goal in the Champions League anymore. So it was a big night for Inter, and at the end of the day they got the job done. Slim victory though, but I think it was a really dominating performance for Inter yesterday, Wale.
Only few sides in Europe can be as functional as Inter. And when I mean functional, it's a blend of their pressing ability, the way they progress the ball up the pitch, their threat on attacking transitions, the various solutions they have in the final third. It's a team that thrives in every phase of the game, even including set pieces. At a point in time yesterday when Atleti, withdrew and said, hey, we're going to defend, you could see that Inter still found solutions and found ways to exactly. And if not for the profligacy of the strikers, Marcus Thuram until he went off, Marko Arnautovic definitely the biggest culprit as well until he redeemed himself. Lautaro Martinez also missed the chance. Maybe they could have gone to Spain in 3 weeks with maybe a 2-3 goal cushion, but value for their win for Inter Milan. And I look at their midfield, and I think it's one of the best midfields in Europe right now. It's a midfield that can do everything. A lot of people don't give them credit for also how well they defend. They have 21 clean sheets this season, but Inter can also be a dogged side defensively. There was no Acerbi yesterday. Stefan De Vrij, fantastic. The midfield three of Akan Çalhanoğlu, who has made that deep line midfield his own. After Brozovic left, there's Mkhitaryan playing on the left, and there's Nicolo Barella on the right. It's a fantastic balance, and I think it's an open Champions League campaign, and they have to make the most of it. I think they've got what it takes to be able to last the distance, get to the final.
What's the distance?
The distance to the final, yes.
Because the distance cannot be the final. They got to the final the last time.
Yeah, of course, I know. So
the distance of winning it this time,
I agree, but I think they've got what it takes to make it to the final. They have the ingredients of a team that should be able to navigate a two-legged affair and make it to the final. I don't know what happens in the final, but I think they've got what it takes. Simone Inzaghi has definitely molded this side to be a very functional team.
I think so.
Yeah.
And they play with so much liberty now. They know that even if they concede, they can always get their
My worry for them
Martinez is in a world of his own. Just getting those goals, just scoring over 20 goals in La Liga.
My worry is the support act behind Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram. The support act is Alexis Sanchez and Marko Arnautovic. By the way, Arnautovic scored his first Champions League goals in 13 years.
Yesterday.
That's the longest stretch for any player in Champions League history. Remember, he also has a Champions League title.
He did.
When they won the treble.
With Bayern.
No,
with Inter.
With Inter.
Yes.
He didn't play any game. He was just on the bench for
just...
2 yeah. But he still has. I think he has a tattoo of it on his leg as well. But I'm not sure Arnautovic and Alexis Sanchez have got what it takes to step up
fixing those boots
when these two guys are not in their stride or if they are injured. That's the worry.
Done yesterday, and he will have scored more than one.
Should have scored more.
Missing chances.
I know. I mean, if I was Simone Inzaghi, I would reply and say Arnautovic scored. Alexis Sanchez also scored, in the Champions League group stages as well. So I will reply you that, but I'm still not just convinced. But we'll see. But I like this Inter side.
I think so.
Yeah, but I think that they are second best side to Man City. Yeah, yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Tune Young tagged me, copied me on Twitter about there was a build-up they had from Jan Sommer that led to, I think, Arnautovic missing the chance, and he said this Inter side will beat City. And I said, man, if you're ready, if these two sides meet in this Champions League,
see how it goes.
Let's wager 100k. I think City wins. Yeah, I think
I'll
City
double
wins.
the money outside betting 200k. Inter wins.
I think City
and as
wins.
I said, outside betting 200k.
Oh well, God is able.
Bet Baba is there.
All right, talk about Bet Baba again into that segment in 2 minutes from now. So stick around for that. I'll also be taking your calls as well, your reactions to last night and what you're expecting tonight. In the Champions League and Premier League. City can go 4 or Liverpool can go 4 clear tonight against Albert Sambi Lokonga's Luton Town. Yeah, Lokonga on loan from Arsenal at Luton Town.
He's been a good player for them.
He started 8 of their last 9. I know he started when he started with them. I think he got injured, but since he came back, he's been a mainstay alongside Ross Barkley in Luton's midfield. All right, so we're done with Inter. PSV also, controversial circumstance, go back into that game against Borussia Dortmund, ended 1-1. But the good thing is that almost all of our Champions League round of 16 games
came in,
are still much in the balance going into the second leg, which is really good to see. No game is dead in the water yet. All right, since no game is dead in the water, we believe Arsenal Porto won't be as well. Should be a very interesting fixture. Let's focus on Porto for a bit because Porto are a team who are in some existential crisis, sort of. They are third in the league. It's an unusual place for them to be, but also, guess what? They're in the middle of a presidential tussle. They are president of about 30 years, still wants to remain there, but guess who wants to try to take it over from him? Andre Villas-Boas is contesting to be Porto president, and that has set the
support of a lot of the board members.
Oh yeah. So that set the tone for Porto side not in a good state of mind going into this game against an Arsenal side who are here for the first time in 7 years. I mean, now time flies. 7 years. Wow. All right, how about take a break? We'll come back. We'll relieve what has happened in those 7 years, and in the 7 years of plenty for Arsenal, because Arsenal had 7 years of consistent failure in the round of 16. We'll take you through that, and we'll ask them if they are ready to take or move on up or take that next step this season in the Champions League. Stick around, 6:30. We'll be right back with more. Remember, the second half of the show is brought to you by Bet-Baba. Remember to gamble responsibly and not for persons under 18.
Mainland 98.3 FM, your number one radio. Reaching stars, the sound of Lagos.
You define better odd. I be you one play Correscos. Over 1.5, I be you one bet. Say, both seem no go score at all. Yeah, we get better payout. No worry, we there for you. Our odd, Jaburata, we know the feeling show. We there for you. You see for Bet Baba, we win money. Bet Baba, cash out today easy. Oh, Bet Baba, we get online games for you to play. No go down one. We get better bonus. I didn't know that. Yeah, now Bet Baba they are so. Cash out no sharp. Oh darling, no. Welcome to Bet Baba.
Register now on betbaba.ng. Not for people under 18.
All right, second half of the show is brought to you by Bet Baba. Now, you be boss. We've got a 3 odds accumulated for tonight, consisting of Champions League and Premier League. We'll get to that very, very soon. Now, let's talk Arsenal. By the way, the last time Arsenal got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, do you know who they beat? FC Porto. So maybe it's about the reason. But when you write it down, 2017 actually doesn't feel that long ago. But if you measure it simply by what has happened to Arsenal in that time, suddenly it looks like a yawning chasm of time. Looks like a long, long time. They are basically unrecognizable from the Arsenal that exited 7 years ago. But this week, they will do something they have not done since 2017. Try to qualify for the quarterfinals.
Well, it's a very funny game. The fact that Porto had a decent group stage. They won 4 of their 6 games, finishing second behind Barcelona. But domestically, they're not doing good. They're 12 points away from Benfica with 12 games to go. And remember, that very significant defeat, Arauca. You called that game that
that was last week.
They lost that game by 3-2. And perhaps the old drama around the boardroom decision, the election, is maybe affecting their game somehow. But this is the most unusual place Porto have been in a very long time. We check the history, the dominance they've had in the, and don't forget that they've also won the Champions League before under
2004.
I think that's one of the most one-sided final of any football competition I've seen in my life, where they beat Monaco by 3-0. I think Adebayo was playing at Monaco back then. The man Adebayo. So
Ludovic, Flavio Roma.
The whole transition of Porto moving into Chelsea when Jose Mourinho bought a couple of their players, brought them over to Chelsea. But beyond that, it's a game that has to understand what's at stake for them. 21 goals in the last 5 games, just 2 goals conceded. I mean, it's a transition from a team that suffered, lost their last 2 games of 2023, lost against West Ham, lost against Fulham in the game they played so terribly. They went over to Dubai for the winter vacation, Saudi Arabia for the winter vacation for 6 days. I came back, they beaten Crystal Palace, they beaten West Ham 6, they beaten Burnley 5, they jumped the knocking games off, they beaten Liverpool 3-1. I mean, it looks like it's a newly defined Arsenal, and it looks like also that we've finally gotten done with the conversation around who is supposed to be number 1. Maybe is now what's his name now? Skipping the number 1 choice goalkeeper
David
Raya, and I think that is set to this contribution from the back. He's made the team got better. The defensive pair of Saliba and Gabriel, they've done exceptionally well for themselves. And the transition, Kiwior coming into the game, and Zinchenko is back, his feet. Tomiyasu is also back, but I don't know if he's going to be in the team tonight.
I think Kiwior still plays tonight.
Still plays tonight. He's done well. He's had 2 assists in 3 games for someone that didn't exceptionally fit into the team. So I think in that balance, it could be tricky. And to be real, maybe when you look at this Signal Iduna, that's the home stadium of Borussia Dortmund, you look at Anfield, I think the Dragao is one of the most difficult place you want to go play European football now, which is the home stadium of Porto. They make it extremely difficult for teams to come in there. But you look at this Arsenal, you look at their balance, the flexibility of the side, and their bench, which is really key for them. And I just see an Arsenal win written all over this one.
All right, so like I promised on the first half of the show, we're going to take you back. Apparently, the reason why Arsenal have never progressed to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and they did 7 years of consecutive round of season break, has been a mixture of self-destruct button being pressed and sometimes bad luck. The manager is different, we know that. Even the owners were different. Stan Kroenke only took full charge of Arsenal in 2018, but with their chances at this stage be different. Let's take a look now. In those years, Arsenal seemed to make the same mistakes over and over. It was Wenger, right? But no matter how Wenger was, the flavor, it was all encompassing. He still seemed to be making the same mistakes and again. So we start from 2010-2011. That was the year of Barcelona, right? That's the second iteration of Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, and nobody could talk about Barcelona
to anybody.
But in that season, Arsenal found a way to finish in that group to Shakhtar Donetsk second. How do you finish second Shakhtar Donetsk? But that's it's another thing. Now they got the toughest draw, and if you finish second in the group stages, you always get a tough draw. Now they got Barcelona in the middle of what many regard as the best season under Pep Guardiola, and guess what? Arsenal won the first leg. In case you don't know, Arsenal beat Barcelona in the first leg 2-1. Andre Arshavin, who was in his element, and they took that up to Camp Nou. But before that game against Camp Nou, they lost the League Cup final to Birmingham. Obafemi Martins, remember that
classic goal?
And
death of the game.
Oh yeah, and in the return leg, Sergio Busquets' own goal drew them leveled at halftime. It was 1-1 at halftime. Then after 56 minutes, Robin Van Persie episode happened. And, I'm not sure that Wenger and Van Persie have forgiven that referee. You know that referee? Massimo Busaka. He was the referee that year. And we know what happened. Arsenal went on to lose that game. Xavi put them in front. Messi scored his second of the game. But they could have gone through if Nicolas Bentner scored that late chance that he had, but it didn't happen. Now, let's move on to the following season. Started promisingly. Topped their group this time around, and they got AC Milan. I remember that game. I was still in Polytechnic then, and that was the era of the viewing center, right? And it was late at night. I mean, your usual 8:45 p.m. fixture, and against AC Milan, also in good form in the Premier League. And I look at the first leg at the San Siro, Arsenal lost 4-0, and tried to come back in the second leg 3-0. But it wasn't enough. They scored all 3 goals in the first half, if you remember.
And then as Wenger looked at the bench, and then there was Joan Juru, and then there was Maran Shamak, and I'm like,
3-0.
Forget those.
I mean,
they had just one goal to pull the game left, and they had the momentum going for them. But there was nobody on the bench.
Koscielny, Rosicki, Robin van Persie penalty in the first half, and they just couldn't get the clincher in the second half. Now let's move to the next season. That's 2012-2013, and that was when the decline under Wenger became stark in Europe. Now they finished second in a group that had, listen to the clubs that were in that group: Schalke 04, Olympiacos, and Montpellier. How does Arsenal of 2012 finish second in that group? And guess who they get? And that's where they started Bayern Munich. Yeah, exactly. First leg, Arsenal were convincingly beaten 3-1, and in the second leg, yeah. And you know the thing about Arsenal in those years when they were losing constantly down the season, they will give you hope in the second leg.
They get badly beaten in the first leg,
and they give you a glimmer of hope, and they just flickers away.
2-1, and then they just let go.
And there was
nobody in that team to take them across the line, to just take them that just little extra effort, and they kept doing it. Now Bayern Munich were feasting on Arsenal. It's almost like they always go and pay for them. The
second season, Arsenal finished second place to Anderlecht.
Exactly.
They finished second place to Anderlecht. So you could see that Arsenal have always pressed the self-destruct button, and they got Pep Guardiola's Bayern Munich 2-0 first leg, and I think it was I can't even remember.
2, 3, 4.
They got Bayern again the next year, I think, and they lost 10-2.
3 straight season.
You know, they got beaten 10-2. So maybe it's a bit different now. Oh, the season after that again, they got Monaco, and they got beaten again.
That was when what's his name now? Antonio Martial was in his element.
Yeah,
I think the following season, the following season, then that's when they brought him to Man, and then they included the Ballon d'Or clause because of Arsenal.
All right, I think they also got Barcelona again as well, and I mean Barcelona strolled 3-1, and also were out again. But it just feels a bit different this season. It feels a bit different for them. They are favourites against FC Porto, no doubt about it. But how far can Arsenal go this season in the Champions League?
It depends on how far they want to go, and I will tell you for a fact, Arsenal stand a better chance of winning the Champions League than winning the Premier League. What that means is that they stand a chance of finishing the season trophyless. So figure out whatever you want to do with that piece of information, just deal with it. But the most important thing is that they fancy their chance of going into this Champions. They've got a couple of players that have never played in the Champions League before, never played in the Europe at any stage of the Champions League, whether round of 16 or group stages. Bukayo Saka made the Champions League debut, got his first Champions League goal, and that coincidentally happened to be Arsenal's first Champions League goal in 7 seasons. I mean, so it looks like it's a balanced pair for them going forward. But hey, we've got big teams. Can Arsenal survive Real Madrid? Can Arsenal survive Manchester City? Can Arsenal even survive Bayern, as bad as we think Bayern Munich is? So it's a lot of process. So let us just keep going. Let them scale through FC Porto first if they're lucky enough, and then let's see what happens to them in the quarterfinals and in the semi-finals. But you look at this team and you think these boys really badly want to win. But I hope that they keep the momentum going on in the league. That is the only thing that can also push them, because you know the space within the Champions League. So you need to be in a good run of form in your league so that you can carry that momentum into the Champions League. And they're good now. I mean, you look at the way they have been going neck to neck with Manchester City and Liverpool in the league. If they can build on that momentum, we don't know how far they can go in the Champions League.
All right, if you want to join, the numbers to call 09136000 410. Hi, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. Obina on the line. Obina calling from Marco.
Obina, how are you?
I'm fine. Well, how are you doing, guys?
Yeah, we're good.
Each time I listen to you with this Arsenal of a thing, I laugh. Because Arsenal is a team that is not serious. They are not serious. They are not serious. They are not. I don't think Arsenal with this team, Arsenal can win the Premiership or any trophy in Europe.
What do you want them to do?
I don't see the reason why. They don't want to. The truth is that they are so. This season, last season, I can remember when the Arteta was saying that Arsenal was short of players. And if we check last season, they were the least as in the number of players for the Premiership and other tournaments. The same thing this season.
So what's your problem? Arsenal in a good place. They have not lost any game this year.
They've not lost any game. 21
They're scoring goals.
Yes,
so what's the problem with them?
But I don't see any consistency. Let me tell you.
What club do you support? What club do you support to start off for? What club do you support?
I'm a fan of good football.
You're a Chelsea fan. You're a Chelsea fan.
I'm not a Chelsea fan.
Thank you very much, Obina. Hi, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Obina, you don't know the kind of arrow that you shoot in that studio. This is greatness calling from Agbara.
Greatness, welcome.
Obina, you don't understand. See, let me join the voice that Obina and me from there. He's just making showers of praises to Arsenal. Where they stopped 7 years ago, they picked it today. They can't even knock put out. So I don't even say anything great. So they say that Arsenal is competing with Man City. How is the Arsenal is competing with Man City? Last season, did they compete with us? Did they compete? Competition meaning that one that Liverpool did in the last day. Till the last day. That is what we call competition. But 7 matches to go, you failed up. You call that competition. Even this one is not competition. Give them next month now. Saka will start playing ball over. They will start playing ball over.
All right. Greatness. Thank you very much. Hi, good evening. Welcome to the Sports Cruise.
Well, good evening.
Oh no, man, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, quick thoughts on Jim Ratcliffe's comments on Mason Greenwood. Says he's open to him returning to the club. Do you want him back?
Yeah. At least from a human point of view, at least from this part of the country, he hasn't finished the first. If he does that in the second time again, they should terminate his contract and get it over with. Look at what happened to Sigurdsson. And what's the other guy from Man City? Mendy. They are proving not guilty, and their career went down the hill. So I'm not saying that Greenwood was not guilty. There was politics at the end of the day, but give him a second chance.
All right.
Everybody deserves that. Yeah. So for Arsenal this night, at least Porto, at least they shouldn't get the lose in Porto. That's my own. If they lose in Porto, that means that's 7 years of drought. But
you guys don't, like Okpe said earlier on, you don't realize how difficult it is to play at the Dragao. It's a difficult place. I think if Arsenal to get a draw, they've got a good result.
It's a good result. That's what I said. Don't lose at Porto. At Arsenal of now, with their form, if they lose at Porto, no. For an embarrassment, the way they are picked up in the last 18 months. In the Premier League, so they should do something with it.
All right, thank you very much, Onome. Let's move on to the next caller. Hi, good evening.
Jamie from Ajabine.
Hey, Jamie, what's popping?
For me, my Arsenal will teach you but they will make their married and they will knock them out.
All right.
For Man U, and is better than that Anthony, that Pokoli. Is better than Anthony Pokoli. To come to my back. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie, for your comments right there. Now let's talk about the Napoli-Barcelona game. Let's start with the home side, Napoli, who have sacked their manager over the weekend, Walter Mazzarri, and appointed Francesco Calzona, who will be in charge for tonight. Okay, I'm tempted to take one more call, then I'll get up there on Napoli and Osimhen. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, it's Tosin.
Okay, Tosin, welcome.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, quick one. You just touched on Barcelona.
Tosin, are you there?
Yeah, I said you just touched on Barcelona.
Oh yeah.
And that's the team I support. So I don't see for the two teams, man. I don't really see any excitement there. I'll just go watch that game. I almost watch that game like a neutral, but then I think that Barcelona will find a way to.
All right, Tosin, thank you very much. Now, let's talk about Osimhen just in a moment. Mazzarri was a bit unlucky not to have the full services of Osimhen. When he became manager, Osimhen came in, I think, the second game against Bologna, assisted the goal. They scored, played in the Champions League. After he came back from the CAF Awards, the night after, I think he scored the goal that qualified them for the Champions League round against Sporting as well. But he went to the AFCON, so he wasn't always available. And 2 months has passed since Osimhen was brought on in Napoli's Coppa Italia goalless draw against Frosinone, although they went on to lose 4-0 in that Coppa Italia game. But Osimhen, in that game, I remember the Coppa Italia tore off his face mask, was not really happy. And when available this season, I think he has generally caught a frustrated figure. I remember when he missed the penalty against Bologna and the media team of Napoli racially, I will have to call it out, they racially abused him. Yeah, that was what it was then. He got a red card against Roma as well. And in as much as the owner has admitted his own mistakes about the guy who replaced Spalletti, Rudy Garcia, who admit, I mean, how do you become a coach of a team and you admit that you never watched a game of the team you are managing? You should be having fired at the unveiling. The owner said he should have fired him at the unveiling for even saying that, but he let that go. I also remember Osimhen during the AFCON preparation had some words for the agent of Kvaratskhelia
for revealing his probably
saying that he wants to play for money. He's strong-arming Napoli into that new contract that he got. Some even believe that Osimhen has been overindulged at Napoli. But what do you make of Osimhen at Napoli? Because I think that I don't think it's been an overwhelming success. He's Nigerian, and I don't want to look like I'm being overly critical here. But in 3 seasons at Napoli, Osimhen's numbers are very, very interesting. Now, this season, we don't know what's going to happen in the second half of the season. But the rate at which it's going, we don't know if he's going to get goals. But last season, where he did 24 goals in the league, is looking like a freakish season, because apart from that season, Osimhen has not done 14 plus goals in the league. He has a 120 million pounds or 100 million pounds plus price tag on him, but Osimhen, I don't think has really. Do you think he's fully delivered his potentials at Napoli?
I'm trying to understand what it means, or what you mean by like last season was freakish. I mean, for a team that have not won the Italian Serie A for 33 years, and then even
the fact that they are 9th this season proves that it is freakish. Because how do you go from the height of winning the league?
But you also agree that they are not a 9th position team.
Exactly. We are saying the same thing.
No,
that last season was a freakish season.
No, it's not freakish.
If
you look at the numbers of victories,
you know what they call freakish?
Yes.
Freakish is when you do it and you cannot do it again. Exactly. So has Napoli done it again? Has Osimhen done it again? The answer is no.
If you say they declined, it's understandable. If you look at their numbers, especially Victor Osimhen's numbers, 3 seasons ago his numbers, 2 seasons ago his numbers, last season his numbers, the previous, I think he had 8 goals. Or
let me break down the numbers. I have the numbers here. In 3.5 seasons at Napoli, only once has he scored 14 or more league goals, and only once, that was last season, has he been durable enough to start 30 or more of the 38 league games. There's a problem. There's a question of his durability. There's also a question of his availability in those 3.5 seasons, and I think I'm right to be able to analyze and question that.
Season, have Napoli delivered? They've won the title.
I know they've won. That's why I'm telling you that season when they won the title,
quarterfinals of the Champions League.
You see, there's a fear. There's a tendency that if you're going to look at
if you say the team declined, if you say maybe the climax and then it's an anti-climax season for them, is understandable.
There's a tendency.
But for you to say it's freakish, I don't think
when it's done with his 4 years at the club,
they don't win the league by
I know this. Leicester declined in the second season. It was freakish.
No, Leicester is not freakish. Leicester's season started the season before when they won 9 games. Before they got into the
it was all freakish. It was from the bottom of the table. But let's get back to base. Now, what I'm saying here is that Osimhen is going to leave the club at the end of the season.
Sure.
Yeah. So he'll have spent 4 years at Napoli, right? Now, in those 4 years, if you're going to analyze the body of work, there's a tendency that if you deeply look at numbers, you will regard that season when they won the league as a freakish one because of the way the numbers didn't add up. Because
there was no consistency.
Exactly my point.
But there was consistency with his growth. The first season, his numbers were not as good as the second season. The second season's number is not as good as the season they won the title. That's why I said maybe it's an anti-climax. He's definitely not going to get all of the numbers he got last season this season.
I think Osimhen has to still prove that. Yeah, injuries have played a part.
Exactly.
But those injuries have been a constant theme in those almost 4 years at Napoli. And
But that's what I'm saying. The momentum was with the team last season. That's why I don't think it's freakish. I think they clicked on the momentum and they figured out that some of the teams around us are not doing better, or they're not even trying to give a resistance to us. Let us just march on, let us go on. And that was exactly what they did. I don't know, maybe for you think it's freakish because they've not been able to replicate that moment. But for me, I think that was the peak that Napoli was going to get to, because the momentum was with them. They were driving high and they felt like, hey, we won the league. I mean, it's huge. You've not won something in 33 years.
I don't want to rain on your parade or rain on Osimhen's parade. But even last season when he won the league, do you know that for half of the group stages he was not available in the Champions League?
And yes, and even in the quarterfinals, he was not available for the first leg.
He missed last year's quarterfinal, first leg, then practically half of the group stage this season. He has not been. So I think I'm correct to be able to analyze and question the availability, and that's what other clubs also be looking at. See.
How available is it?
Exactly.
How easy for players to fizzle him out? He get easily walked on.
Now it's been named as a potential replacement for Kylian Mbappe, right? PSG. But PSG, I got to say, we have Gonzalo Ramos, we have Randa Kolo Muani.
Ramos, it's been consistent.
We have those two guys.
Muani is also developing.
Why do you want to bring in Osimhen? Why don't you just go and bring in a winger?
Osimhen is more proven than those two players.
I know he is, but they're going to say if we have Randa Kolo Muani and we have Ramos, but Osimhen is coming and those numbers don't convince us. Why do we have to really go in?
Osimhen is going to come in and he's going to be the starter, straight up.
No problems, but I think even the Premier clubs,
want him to go to PSG.
The clubs in the Prem also.
I'm being careful.
Yeah, the clubs in the Prem also will be looking at Osimhen this second half of the season, because he has to prove that last season wasn't a flash.
And the fact that Napoli now put in this buyout clause shows that he's going to be available in the market. In fact, he's available in the market already.
And that is why tonight's game is also very crucial.
Very key.
It's like an audition. I think Osimhen is too big to be auditing or to be doing audition.
But
right?
At this point,
tonight's game,
he has to make a statement.
Yeah.
More so, the AFCON was supposed
to be. Look at the AFCON as well.
The AFCON was supposed to be a space for him to say, I'm the king of Africa. I'm the AFCON player of the year.
Goal in 7.
I want to get this done. He got a goal, 2 goals. 2 of the goals were struck off again for whatever it is, especially that one against South Africa. It was really unfortunate. A foul was committed and then he got in on the breakup over. He fluffed his line at AFCON. Now we can make all of the conversation around the fact that other players were covering it for him. They would not look more.
But he also made other players shine as well. That's a positive
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But hey, as a striker, 120 million euros. I didn't buy you to make other players shine, except Olivier Giroud that will have more assists than goals. I brought you in to score goals. I didn't bring you in to make other players shine.
All right, and let's get this season.
No, nobody's making comparison, and nobody's putting the blame of Napoli on Victor Osimhen.
If I'm going to navigate for or find a reason for Visa,
time around, a lot of people kept going from, and same thing with Victor Osimhen. People understand that get under his skin, you frustrate him, and he gets tired in the game.
Hello, good evening. All right, please do call us back if you can. Hi, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
God. Are you guys not listening? This is the hope Wale is trying to say. Not, he's not attacking Victor Osimhen.
Okay.
You guys should not be sentimental.
Osimhen just needs to settle down. Back a bit. The word is that is over-exert himself again.
It's a big audition.
I know Osimhen is world class B.
Even the B
last season as a freakish season, but this season is last. Yes. So how do you go from 28 and you're not even in double figures right now? Till time. Hello.
Anthony.
All right. So
I think that same would apply to their opponent in the league, but then
can you call it a success since he joined 2 years ago?
I think it was brought in to be like a model to the young players coming through.
Yeah.
And he's
a freakish because in his first season he got the job done, won in the league, but there were problems.
Struggling.
I think the moment Lewandowski thrives, he thrives from the wings service. Then he just started with the manager as well. But I think it'll be fine. But Barcelona have to sell at the end of the season to stay in business. I don't know if they will consider the sale of Lewandowski as well. But as we go, booking code for tonight features Al Nassr. Also, we think Barcelona will avoid defeat, win or draw. So thanks for listening. Let's do this again tomorrow. Enjoy the football tonight. Okay.
Thank you, Wally.
All right. We're out. Bye bye.